closer then. Good.
Where do you want me? There?
That's mic stand, yeah.
Okay.
Right, is everyone ready to go?
Yeah,
Yep.
born ready.
David, what way to round out the year? Obviously, so the European Series got launched in January, big press conference. What's it been like, being in charge of this, being in charge of the series and seeing where it's gone from?
Well, like you say,
Newcastle to now.
yeah, like you say, I can't believe we're done 6 events now. We're already at the end, kind of the first year. It doesn't seem 5 minutes ago we were in Newcastle, celebrating the launch of Bellator Europe, and I think it's been fantastic. I think if you look back at all of the events and some of the fights we've had this year, everything from the Ryan Scope Pitbull fight to the Raymond Daniels knockout to Dublin and how brilliant that was in September, right to tonight, and some really good fights tonight. A nice way to finish the year in Wembley.
We saw a few little bits of crowd trouble tonight. A lot of Shipman's coaches jumped a barrier. There were some fights in the crowd. Does that maybe sadden it a little bit tonight?
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't looked into how the fight started or where they came from in the crowd, but obviously I did hear a bit of that during the Brazier fight. As it's very rare in MMA, and it's something sad to see really, because I think we do a good job with MMA not to have that sort of thing going on, especially in the crowd. I mean, it's not so bad in the cage, but yeah. So I'll have to look into that some more. But there did seem some tensions out there.
We saw rival promotion Cage Warriors. They've announced a lot of their dates for next year. They're going into new territory in Manchester. Do you think Bellator's going to expand and maybe go and rival them in some other cities?
I don't feel like we need to rival anybody, like that on the sort of national level. We're looking to build into Europe, into mainland Europe, and we're going to do some big shows. I mean, I think we're treading our own path really, and we don't need to sort of counter book against anybody.
David, the Sky TV deal, we're coming up to the first year. First of all, from your point of view, just give us a situation report. How's it gone for you from your perspective? But secondly, are we going to see a renewal of the Sky deal?
Well, as you know, I mean, I think we were looking for a TV deal at the beginning of the year, and we needed to facilitate 2 things. We needed to get a broad, big platform for the Bellator European Series, and we also need to look after all of those amazing international events we had. Getting it on Channel 5 I think was amazing. We've got, we've been on all year, prime time, terrestrial TV, which MMA just hasn't had before. We've had a year on the channel, getting out to a huge, broad audience. And then, of course, we had the issue of the internationals and where to put them with all their moving time zones. So Sky Sports came along, and that's a perfect fit. I think, to see us regularly mentioned on the Friday briefings in the news, talking about international fights we've got, be it in Texas or Connecticut, all over the world, advertised on Sky News, I think it's fantastic. And then the broadcast itself is available to everybody. So for me, it's been a really good partnership. As you say, we're moving into next year, so there's lots of decisions and discussions to be had. I'm sure we'll have some news about where we'll be, but one thing's for sure, we'll be out there for everyone to see in the UK and the rest of Europe.
And this is a recurring theme when we speak, David. European Series, European belt. How likely is it that we're going to see a European belt tied to the European Series?
At the moment, it's really not on the agenda. I think for me, as I say, I don't really want the Bellator European Series to be some sort of second tier. I think what Bellator Europe does is it gives all the fighters over here, a pathway to fight for the belt and to be seen all over the world. I mean, tonight, all these guys were available on the app and on YouTube in America. So, they're getting to fight some great guys, and they're going to have the opportunity to move up the Bellator ladder and fight in America for the belt. So at the moment, for me, I think it's all about the belt and how you get there. I mean, you look at someone like MVP, the first thing he did after winning tonight was calling out Lima for another fight. He'd love to do that. And I think, at the moment, I wouldn't like to see him having one belt and then going for an international one. I think, there's one top of the mountain.
Any word in attendance tonight, Dave?
I haven't had the final word on that yet.
Dave, who would you say was the biggest winner out of tonight? Some great performances, but who would you say really raised their stock?
Well, I think, you've got to say just on balance, Fabian coming out of this. I mean, I think that was a massive battle. It was going to be a big deal for either of those guys who was going to win that fight, I think, because it had been built up to such a grudge match. I think, for various reasons, the winner was going to move on to something, and I think, Fabian's raised his game tonight against a really quality opponent with Shipman, and I think that was a big win for him.
How did you personally score that fight? Because there was a lot of controversy surrounding the 30-27.
I think the interesting thing was it was really exciting. I think, as you say, everyone will have their own opinion. I think most of the people around me, just anecdotally, I think a lot of people had it fairly even going into the third. It was all to play for, but I think you could tell by the crowd, no one really knew where the fight was by, until the ref called it. So it was very tight, and I think, win by split seemed to be the right sort of result for me.
Michael had a short notice replacement fight tonight, and it was very important to keep on the cards. He's such a big name here, obviously. But do you feel as though that will be a good enough win for him to get a second crack at the champion, given that his opponent had never fought in Bellator before tonight?
I mean, you're absolutely right. Look, no one wants a fight to fall away because of an injury, and you know, Derek Anderson would have been a huge fight tonight for MVP, a real test. He would have come forward. I think it would have been a really interesting fight. I think you've got to give credit to Gianni stepping in against MVP at less notice. I mean, who would want to do that? And you know, so of course you're not going to get the right picture from that, I think. But looking at it, MVP was confident, he was fit, and you know, he did the only thing he could do, which was to, you know, deliver another devastating KO on the night. As for his fight, you know, it might not be the next fight, but you know, I'd imagine if he wins, Lima wins, that fight's got to happen sooner or later.
What's your take on a potential daily rematch? He was on the desk tonight. I understand he was talking up the possibility of facing MVP back here in London in 2020. I'm not sure he was overly impressed with the performance tonight, even though it was quite a short one. What's your take on that? Is that a fight you'd like to get booked for this arena, maybe next year?
Look, I mean, I think everybody was very excited about that fight before the last one. It, you know, obviously didn't deliver what we all hoped for on the night. Whether there'll be another one, who knows? I think that both guys are on a path. Maybe they'll come across each other again. Of course, if it does happen, I'd love to have it here. I think, you know, I think there is a potentially good fight there between the two of those guys. We just didn't see it the first time around.
How happy are you with building that Shipman and Fabian fight? Because it felt like so many people had, you know, were invested in the fight. It felt really big this week. And you could even feel the tension in the arena there tonight when they were fighting. I think some people might have been let down with the fight watching on TV, but it was amazing tension in the arena tonight. Do you feel like that is on the back of all the promotional work you guys have done to sell that fight and the lead up to it?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd hope so. I mean, I think, like you say, the tension was really palpable in the arena. And I had a lot of people I know just coming up to me last night and saying, I've really got to see this fight now. So it was a promotional dream, really, because the fight had been 2 years in the making, and you know, it seemed to come to a head at the right time. And for me, combat sport, you know, in the round, never mind just MMA, is all about narrative and the storyline. And that, you know, that was a really true grudge match. And you know, I think it delivered on the night. I think it was a great fight.
I know you said just a little bit earlier that one of those guys was going to move on from this fight and move on and up, but Fabian wasn't that happy with the outcome, even though he won. Is there a possibility that you might end up pitching them back in there together? Maybe not next fight, but maybe later in 2020 after maybe they've both picked up another winnage?
Yeah, I mean, Fabian's a perfectionist, as we know. I mean, I think he always likes to finish a fight and entertain the crowd, like a lot of fighters do. I think, you know, and I think Shipman will be disappointed, you know, not to have come away with a win. So for me, you know, there's always a case there for a rematch, I think. But again, I don't think it will be the next fight for sure, and we'll just see where the guys get to after this.
David, tonight, MVP was walked in by Big Nasty. His little brother has recently got into MMA and he's got an amateur record of 8-1. Could we see him joining up Bellator in the future?
Well, I'm not completely familiar with Little Nasty, is it? I'm guessing. Mini Nasty? I don't know. We'll have to take a look at him. I mean, if he's anything like the entertainer that his brother is, and then it can't be a bad thing. But I think we'll have to see how he does in the cage first.
Speaking of like surprise signings, were you guys aware that James Haskell was planning on going into I'm a Celebrity before you signed him?
You know, look, you look at someone like James. We didn't sign James Haskell just for, you know, he wasn't the biggest MMA prospect to sign. He's a personality, and a big personality at that. So he's had a lot of work booked. He was DJing in Ibiza. He had lots of different things going on, and he's a public person. He's got a perfect profile. As for the jungle, I mean, look, he's going to be there for 3 weeks. It's not like he's getting drunk every night. As I said, the only thing we were worried about, you might come back a middleweight with the food rations out there. But you've got to respect James as an athlete. He's an elite athlete, and I've genuinely never seen anybody take something so seriously as this. You know, so you've got to respect his preparation. I guarantee when that guy sets foot in a cage, he will be 100% prepared. I've got no doubt about that. So, you know, he's going to do his public thing this week. I mean, he's been training right up to the day he went in there, and I'm sure he'll be fully prepared when he fights next year.
Do you think it helps you guys then that he's in there because as you said, you're bringing him in to raise the profile? I mean, he's going to be on this huge show. A lot of people watch it. Like, is it a good thing for Bellator that he's on it?
Hey, look, I mean, I'd like to think so. I mean, you know, it's not. We don't. As I say, we signed him for lots of reasons. Let's be honest. You know, there's a PR angle there, and it's all about bringing new eyeballs to the sport. And I think, you know, the fact that James is only 34, he's still got a lot of time. He's really, really excited about fighting. If he brings in another few 100,000 viewers because people now know him in the jungle. I mean, he was already quite a big star going into the jungle from his rugby career. If he's brought in some more fans and people who would like to know what he's doing, then, you know, it's no bad thing.
Dave, do you think these are the right viewers though? Because there's kind of two schools of thought, really, isn't there? We've had things like KSI versus Logan Paul. You know, there's a lot of people saying that's going to bring a load more eyeballs to boxing. But do you think this is a realistic way forward for growing mixed martial arts by bringing people like James Haskell in?
It's not the only way, of course, and I think, you know, it's different comparing it to boxing. Boxing's been established for, you know, over 100 years, so you know about boxing. I genuinely think there's people out there who do not know what MMA is, and there's people who haven't seen it yet. Now, obviously, we can't vet everybody who's going to tune in or find us from maybe, you know, James, but I'm sure if we can take a percentage of that away and show them a sport that maybe they're not aware of, then, you know, everybody's winning from our side.
You're looking to grow the brand over here in Europe. You've got a big slate of events planned for 2020. What can we expect besides the regular haunts that, you know, Dublin, London? What else can we expect from Bellator? What's the next progression for you guys as you look to grow in Europe in 2020?
Well, look, we're really ambitious. We want to grow quickly, but I think we're trying to do it properly. So, you know, obviously we'll revisit places because that's the way you establish a foothold. You know, I think we've shown that in Dublin. You go back there and, you know, you build it, and you build the fan base, you build the talent, and there's a lot of fighters out there in Dublin now who are earning a good wage through us. Excuse me. Excuse me. When you look into what we're doing after that, gonna grab some water. Sorry about that.
Wasn't that tough a question?
You're always going to catch me out at the end there. 2 seconds.
You found his weak spot.
No, I think we're going to look into mainland Europe. You know, it's no mistake. We've said the Netherlands, Scandinavia. We've already announced today we're going back to Milan in October. And, you know, I think it's all about a steady, constant, but, you know, ambitious growth into mainland Europe.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Another 10 questions for you.
Yeah, exactly. I should have kept that one for a tricky one, shouldn't I? I hope you enjoyed it tonight anyway, guys, and thanks, as always, for coming along.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike's doing it, they've got escorted out by security.
What?